Elon Musk. This is a name that almost everyone in the world knows today. But who is he really? Some people call him the real-life Iron Man. Others call him a genius, a madman, or a visionary. He is the man behind Tesla, who made electric cars cool and powerful. He is the man behind SpaceX, who wants to take humans to Mars and make us a multi-planet species. He is also the person who created PayPal, changed online payments forever, and now he owns X, previously known as Twitter. But behind these big headlines is a man with an unusual story, a story of dreams, pain, failure, and unstoppable determination. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. From a young age, he was different. While other kids played outside, Elon spent his days reading science fiction books, learning about rockets, and dreaming about going to space. He was obsessed with the idea of creating things that could change the world. At the age of 12, he built his own video game and sold it to a magazine for $500. That was the beginning of his journey as an inventor and entrepreneur. Today, Elon Musk is one of the richest people in the world. But his life is not just about money. It's about thinking big. He believes that we should not just focus on small improvements but work on problems that will affect humanity for generations. Problems like clean energy, artificial intelligence, space travel, and brain-computer technology. Many people think his goals are crazy or impossible, but Musk does not care. He once said, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." In this video, we will look deeply into the life of Elon Musk. How did he go from being a quiet boy in South Africa to becoming the man who wants to build cities on Mars? What challenges did he face? What can we learn from his journey? As you listen to his story today, think about your own dreams. Because if there is one thing Elon Musk teaches us, it is this: our dreams are only impossible until we decide to make them real. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. His father, Errol Musk, was an engineer, and his mother, May Musk, was a model and dietitian. From the outside, his family looked normal and successful. But growing up, Elon often felt lonely and out of place. He was a small, quiet boy who spent most of his time reading books. While other kids were outside playing football, he was in his room, reading encyclopedias, science fiction novels, and programming books. By the age of 9, he had read every book in his school library and moved on to reading everything he could find at home. Elon was deeply interested in technology and space. He imagined rockets flying to other planets, and he dreamed of creating machines that could change the world. But school was not easy for him. He was bullied terribly. Groups of boys would push him down the stairs, punch him in the face, and once he was beaten so badly that he had to stay in the hospital for a week. It was a dark and painful time in his life. But even though he felt alone, he found comfort in his imagination. In his mind, he escaped into other worlds, into the universe, where nobody could hurt him. When he was 10, something happened that changed his life forever. He got his first computer, a Commodore VIC-20. He was fascinated by it. Within days, he learned how to program. By the time he was 12, he created a simple space shooter game called Blaster, and sold it to a magazine for $500. Imagine a 12-year-old earning money from his own game in the 1980s. That moment showed Elon that he could create things with his mind and that his creations had value in the real world. But as he grew older, Elon started to feel trapped in South Africa. He didn't like the country's politics or the atmosphere of violence. He dreamed of going to America, the land of innovation and opportunity. He believed that if he wanted to build the future, he had to be where the future was being built. He used to say, "America is where great things are possible." So, at the age of 17, he left South Africa alone, with just a suitcase, and moved to Canada to live with his mother's family. Later, he studied at Queen's University and then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. His childhood was far from easy. It was filled with bullying, loneliness, and feeling misunderstood. But it was also filled with big dreams and unstoppable curiosity. Looking back, you can see that even as a little boy, Elon Musk was preparing himself for the incredible journey he would take, a journey to change the world, and maybe even life beyond Earth. When Elon Musk moved to the United States, he felt like he had finally arrived at the place where he could build his dreams. After graduating from the University of Pennsylvania with degrees in physics and economics, he started a PhD program at Stanford University. But after just 2 days, he dropped out. Why? Because he realized that the internet was exploding with opportunities in the 1990s, and he didn't want to waste time in classrooms while the future was being built outside. Together with his brother Kimball, Elon started his first company, Zip2, in 1995. Zip2 was an online city guide that helped newspapers create maps, business listings, and directories for their readers. At the time, most people didn't even understand what the internet could do. Elon had to sleep in the office because they couldn't afford an apartment, and he showered at the local YMCA. He worked day and night, coding, planning, and dreaming. Investors didn't take him seriously at first, but he kept pushing forward. Eventually, Zip2 grew big enough that Compaq bought it for $307 million in 1999. Elon was just 27 years old and walked away with $22 million from the deal. But instead of retiring and enjoying his millions, Elon immediately moved on to his next big idea, online banking. In 1999, he used the money from Zip2 to start X.com, an online payment company. Back then, people were afraid of sending money online. They didn't trust the internet with their bank accounts. But Elon saw the future clearly. He knew that one day, the entire world would use online payments for everything. X.com grew quickly, but soon it merged with another startup called Confinity, which had a product called PayPal. After the merger, Elon became the largest shareholder and CEO of PayPal. The company changed the way money moved on the internet. Instead of writing checks or going to the bank, people could send money to each other with just an email. Simple, fast, revolutionary. But it wasn't always easy. The company had management conflicts, lawsuits, and technical problems. At one point, the board removed Elon as CEO while he was on his honeymoon. Still, he remained the largest shareholder. In 2002, PayPal was bought by eBay for $1.5 billion. Elon walked away with about $180 million after taxes. For most people, that would have been enough for a lifetime. They would buy mansions, cars, and spend their days relaxing. But Elon Musk was not like most people. For him, money was never the goal. It was only a tool to build his visions. As he once said, "I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary." With his new fortune, Elon now had the chance to work on the ideas he dreamed about as a child, electric cars and rockets to space. He was about to enter the most dangerous and stressful chapter of his life, risking everything he had to change the world forever. After selling PayPal, Elon Musk was a rich man. But instead of living a comfortable life, he decided to invest almost all of his money into his childhood dreams, dreams that most people thought were crazy or impossible. He believed that two of the biggest problems facing humanity were sustainable energy and life beyond Earth. So, he started working on solutions for both at the same time. In 2002, he founded SpaceX, with the goal of making space travel cheaper and eventually taking humans to Mars. People laughed at him. They said, "You're an internet guy. What do you know about rockets?" But Elon didn't care. He hired top engineers, read rocket science books for hours every night, and worked side by side with his team, learning everything he could. The first 3 SpaceX rocket launches failed. Each failure cost tens of millions of dollars. By the 3rd failure, he was almost out of money. Everyone thought SpaceX was dead. At the same time, in 2004, Elon invested in a small electric car company called Tesla Motors. He believed that the future of transport had to be electric if we wanted to save the planet. But back then, electric cars were slow, ugly, and couldn't go far on a single charge. Tesla wanted to prove that electric cars could be faster, cooler, and better than gasoline cars. Elon put in his own money and later became CEO. But just like SpaceX, Tesla also struggled. There were production problems, financial problems, and critics everywhere. By 2008, both SpaceX and Tesla were on the edge of bankruptcy. Elon had to make a painful choice: invest his remaining money into one company and let the other die, or split it between both and risk losing everything. He decided to split it and take the risk. That year, SpaceX's fourth rocket launch finally succeeded, putting a satellite into orbit for NASA. It was the first private company ever to do so. NASA signed a $1.6 billion contract with SpaceX, saving the company. At the same time, Tesla finally released its first car, the Roadster, proving that electric cars could be beautiful and powerful. Slowly, Tesla began to grow, building better cars each year. Over the next decade, Elon Musk continued to push boundaries. SpaceX developed the Falcon 9, the first rocket that could go to space and land back on Earth, reducing launch costs dramatically. In 2020, SpaceX became the first private company to send astronauts to the International Space Station. Meanwhile, Tesla created the Model S, Model X, Model 3, and Model Y, making electric cars popular worldwide. Today, Tesla is the most valuable car company on Earth, and SpaceX is working on Starship, the giant rocket that will take humans to Mars. But Elon's vision didn't stop there. He started SolarCity to promote solar energy, the Boring Company to build tunnels and reduce traffic, Neuralink to connect human brains with computers, and OpenAI to ensure artificial intelligence develops safely. He once said, "I think it is important to have a future that is inspiring and appealing. There has to be reasons you get up in the morning and want to live." Through all these projects, Elon Musk shows us what it means to think big, to work for something greater than yourself, and to keep moving forward even when everyone thinks you're crazy. His goal is not just to build companies but to create a future where humanity thrives on Earth and beyond. Elon Musk's life teaches us many powerful lessons about dreams, courage, and what it means to truly live with purpose. He was not born into royalty or given a golden path to success. In fact, his childhood was filled with bullying, loneliness, and feeling misunderstood. But instead of letting these experiences break him, he used them to build strength, resilience, and an unstoppable hunger to create. One of the most important lessons from Elon's journey is to think big and take risks. While most people dream small to stay safe, Elon believes that if you're going to spend your life working on something, it should be something that truly matters to humanity. Whether it's building rockets to take humans to Mars or electric cars to save our planet from pollution, he chooses problems that will shape the future. And he is never afraid to fail. He once said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough." He knows that failure is just a step toward success, not the end. Another lesson is about working hard and staying obsessed. People see him as a genius, but he works harder than anyone else. When Tesla and SpaceX were about to collapse, he was sleeping on the factory floor, working 100 hours a week, solving engineering problems alongside his team. He shows us that genius is not just about talent, but about dedication and relentless effort. Elon's life also teaches us about using money as a tool, not a goal. When he sold PayPal, he could have lived a luxurious, easy life. But he risked everything he earned to build Tesla and SpaceX because he believed in their missions. He once said, "I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad." For him, success is not about having money or fame, it is about creating a future that excites him to wake up every morning. Finally, his story shows us the power of never giving up on your vision, no matter how many people call you crazy. Elon Musk is called crazy almost every day. But he doesn't care. Because he knows that every great change in the world once sounded like madness to people who couldn't imagine it. So, as you finish listening to his story today, ask yourself, what is your big dream? What is the one thing you want to create, build, or change that will make the world a better place? Remember, you don't have to be Elon Musk to think big. You just need the courage to start, the resilience to keep going, and the belief that your ideas matter. Because in the end, the world is not changed by people who follow the rules. It is changed by those who dare to dream, work for that dream, and never give up, no matter how impossible it seems.